Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I achieve this everyday glam daytime makeup look. It is super simple. It is just a matte eye with no false lashes, a little smoked out winged liner. If you're interested in seeing how I got this look, then please keep watching. So because I have very oily skin and large pores, I always like to prime my eyes and face. I'm using the Smashbox Pore Refining Primer and the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Shadow Base. So for the primer, I just spread it kind of all over, and then for the eye primer, I put a little bit on my finger and then apply it to my lid, all the way up to my brows, and then I also place a little bit along the lower lash line. So for foundation, I am using Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Sand. I usually wear rattan or tawny, but I am super pale right now, so I went and grabbed this shade from my freelance kit. And what I'm doing now is I'm applying a little bit on my cheeks, nose, forehead, and chin, and then I'm going to be blending it out with a damp beauty blender. I find that if you do this method where you don't apply a lot and you blend it out with a beauty blender, you won't get heavy, thick, cakey coverage that some people say they get with this foundation. I love it. I love how long wearing it is, and I love that you can sheer it out with a beauty blender, or you can go as full as you want. Now I'm just going in with a light dusting of this Ben Nye Luxury Loose Powder in Cameo. A lot of people ask me why I do my foundation first when a lot of other makeup artists prefer to do the eyes first. But I have to do eyebrows before I do eye makeup. And if I do my foundation after my brows, I inevitably will take off most of my eyebrow and have to go back in and redo them. So I like to have all the foundation on first. Okay, so I'm talking too much and I am missing what I'm doing here on the screen, which is showing you that I have barely any eyebrows, and I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz to define them top and bottom. I'm going to speed this up soon because this is not an in-depth brow tutorial and it takes me forever to do this. But as you can see, I am doing the carving out top and bottom, or the sketching, and then I go back in and fill in, and then I will occasionally flip the pencil around and brush everything through like so, and then go back in and fill in some more. So because I have no hairs towards the front of the brow, I like to mimic them by drawing little strokes straight up and down with the pencil. And then I am going to take this Milani brow powder. I didn't show it, but it's from Milani. And I like to soften up the brows because sometimes when you use pencil, it can come out pretty harsh. So using a powder over the top will soften them a bit. And then finally, I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel and brushing the hairs up and setting them. Now I'm just taking this concealer from Eve Pearl with a synthetic concealer brush and carving out the brow, helping it to stand out and look nice and smooth. And now I'm taking that same concealer and I am applying that to the lid to get rid of any discoloration that might be there. You can skip this step if you are using a shadow primer that already does this, like MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot or Eden from Urban Decay. Now for my eyes, I am going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. Beginning with the banana powder, I'm using that to set my concealer using a flat shader brush going from lash line to brow bone. Then I'm going to be taking the lightest two contour shades, blending them together, and applying those to my crease. Now I'm demonstrating here my technique for hooded eyes, where you just look straight into a mirror, push the brush into where you feel your crease is, then tilt your head back and look into the mirror so that you can see the entire lid space. I have a lot of videos on how to make up hooded eyes because, well, I have hooded eyes, So I will link some of those below. Then I am taking the darkest contour shade with a smaller crease brush. This one is from Sony Beauty. And as you can see, I am just kind of swirling it around only on the outer corners of my eye. I'm not bringing it in far at all, maybe barely halfway onto my eye, and just keep blending, blending, blending. Then I'm going back in with the light matte ivory shade in the palette, placing that on the mobile eyelid to brighten up the area further. And I'm taking that same shade and placing it under the brow bone. Now I'm using Barbarella Brown from Charlotte Tilbury. It is a great smudgy eye pencil. I'm applying that right to the base of my lashes. I am going right at that lash line, and then when I get to the outer corners, I am going to slightly, ever so slightly, wing it out. Now taking a small Delium Tools smudger brush, I'm going to be smoking out that eye pencil. And then when I get to the outer corner, I'm going to try to extend the wing a little bit. Sometimes you have to add a little bit more pencil in order to get enough product to really smoke it out and extend that line. So this is kind of what it should look like. Well, it is what it should look like when you are done. Okay, so now it's time for concealer. I am using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I am taking that from the sides of my nose, underneath my lash line, my lower lash line, and then extending it up towards my temples so that I get a nice crisp wing with that smoked out pencil that I did. I am not one of those YouTubers that cakes on the concealer, although some people might think this is caking it on. But I don't do a lot of that inverted triangle. I do a little bit, but what you'll see when I grab the Beauty Blender in a second is that I take the concealer down into that inverted triangle. I don't start off with that triangle because I feel like that uses a lot of product, and I'd rather just kind of bring down what's left on the blender, if that makes any sense at all. Now, setting the under eye concealer with powder, especially for those of us over 35, choosing the right product is crucial, and I really like this Mineralized Skin Finish in Light from MAC. I use it to also highlight the bridge of my nose and some other areas that I want to brighten. And now I am taking a lash curler, obviously curling my lashes, and applying some Marc Jacobs mascara. I finally feel like I can get away without using falsies because that new lash growth product has really made a huge difference. Now for contour, I am taking this Milk Chocolate Soleil from Too Faced, and I'm doing a gentle contour, a light contour. I don't know why I just said gentle, but I just like to do light contour, and now I'm using my middle finger to apply my nose contour. How many times can I say the word contour? Anyway, I am one of those people that doesn't need to use a brush for everything. Sometimes I just like to get in there with my fingers, like you'll see in just a second when I use this eyeliner. This is a bronzy eyeliner from NYX. Of course, the name will be in the description bar. Lining the lower lash lines, and then there I am again with a finger, blending it out or smudging it out. Your fingers are great tools, and not enough people use them. Highlight and blush, I'm using two shades from the Charlotte Tilbury Glow Kit. And what I am demonstrating here is that I'm putting the highlight on before the blush, because I find that if I do the blush first and then the highlight takes away a little bit of the blush, and I end up having to go back in and add more. And I love, love, love blush. As you can see, I am putting on a lot, and then I'm even adding some more. I love blush. So now I'm taking some highlight and applying that to my tear ducts, and then making that lovely face that a lot of us make when we apply lower lash mascara. Isn't that attractive? Eek. And now moving on to my lips, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, which is one of my all-time favorite lip liners. I am going to be filling in my entire lip with this, And then in a second, I will have a miraculous hair change. There it is. And I am applying my Pillow Talk lipstick. The color in this frame is a little bit off, but what am I going to do? So this is the finished look, guys. Easy, everyday glam makeup. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.